right, folks, as promised, this is the first of your team breakdowns. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at each team, check out their logo, check out their unis, check out their home parks because some of that has changed, and just look briefly at their players because, again, some of that hasn't really changed. Some of the names may have changed just because of the switch over from SMB 3 to 4. But nonetheless, all the player stats have actually are the same. So, but we're going to get right into it. And then the first team is, of course, the Asiago Aeroplanes. Let's take a look at their logo, which is pretty similar, and then their jerseys, which are a little different. I really, really like the away jersey. I think that's pretty amazing. I'm a huge fan of that. The sky blue and the black, which is pretty awesome. And that is their home jersey, the baby blue tops with the baby blue hats, or sky blue tops and the sky blue hats. I really like the way that looks. So they, of course, will be playing at Big Sky Ballpark. That is their home. And that really hasn't changed. None of that has changed, just their logo. So the Aeroplanes are really a power-hitting team with speed and a plus rotation. So they're led by A-rated studs. We have, of course, Ash McIntyre. We have Trey Matthews right here as well. Definitely don't discount Dolly Francis or the home run masher Miguel Russell. Yeah, watch out for them. Overall, the lineup is pretty good for the Asiago Aeroplanes. Again, they were a pretty darn good team in the first tournament. The rotation features A-rated Shark Holloway and the strikeout getter in Steve Dickerson. And bullpen's pretty good too. You know, Colin Turner here, Tatum Midtown. It's pretty good. Julius Duarte at the end. And in SMB 4, I think they're or SMB 3. I don't think they were rated as Speed Demons, but here in SMB 4, they are rated as Speed Demons. So let's see if they can make things happen on the base pass, drive in some runs with those big bats. But we shall see. And that, folks, is your little breakdown of the Asiago Aeroplanes. All right, folks, your next breakdown is, of course, the Bree Boomerangs. They've had a little bit of an upgrade on their logo and everything. So let's take a look at their logo, take a look at their jerseys. They have a little bit more of a San Diego Padres feel. I really, really like the way it all looks. It's a pretty sharp looking jersey. The brown on orange. I like that. You know, the pinstripes too. The gray with the pinstripes, the brown pinstripes, for some reason, it just works. Their new home stadium is now Peril Point because I think there's a battleship somewhere in the background here in Peril Point, maybe in the bay. And obviously they're the Boomerangs, so I think that makes sense. And let's dive quickly into their roster. So the Bree Boomerangs, don't forget, folks, this is the reigning Cheese Cup Championship team. And this team's really all about power and contact. So you have veteran Kason Oldie, Freddie Middleman as well, and Sadie Meadows. Those are your standouts, but definitely don't discount the power hitting catcher Dirk Davila. He's up there as well. Rotation is led by A-rated Carl Sanders. The rest of the pitching staff is honestly, as you can see, pretty mid. Not a lot going on there. The Bree Boomerangs are really going to just try to, I think, out-hit their opponents, plain and simple, with those big bats and the big contact. And then hopefully the rotation and hopefully the bullpen especially can hold things down. So that, folks, is your very brief overview of the Bree Boomerangs. Hey everyone, Greg here, your Cheese League Commissioner again. This is a look at the Cheddar Cherubs. Here's a look at everything that they got going on. Let's dive into their logo. It's pretty unchanged from the first tournament. Their away jerseys, again, pretty unchanged, but their home jerseys are, again, pretty unchanged, but they're sweet. I really like kind of the off-white, definitely a Cleveland Guardians feel. If you're a Cleveland Guardians fan, this would be a good team to root for. Yeah, it's just pretty sharp looking. Their home field is, of course, again, Lafayette Corner. Lafayette Corner just sounds like a romantic place to play baseball, and they're the Cherubs, so that makes a lot of sense. So let's go into their roster. little bit. So I really don't feel like we got a chance to see the Cherubs too much in action in the first tournament. But this team does include a bunch of power hitters. We have Kaylee Esquivel, boom, right there. We have Wanda Moore, boom, up top. We have Elliot Lyons, boom, right below her. Speed is definitely their greatest asset. We got Worley Pittman, Casey Giles. Those are some speed guys. They are the base rounders for this team. So overall, it's a pretty good lineup. The rotation is okay, I would say. You know, they got Charlie Kent really as your ace of that staff. Their bullpen, though, is pretty stellar. We have A-rated relievers, Pooch Jennings, Jolene Drummond. They are definitely going to be your go-tos out of this bullpen. Overall, I think the Cherubs, they're just going to try to get it done with speed. They're extreme speed demons, and really just late in the games relying, again, on that pretty good bullpen. So I think that's how the Cherubs are going to try to win games. And that is your brief breakdown of the Cheddar Cherubs. All right, folks, it's time to look at the Edom Emeralds. So, I like this team a lot, and honestly, what I like about them is their logo and their jerseys. Let's look at it, because this actually might be the best jersey in all the bunch. That's their main logo, their away jersey. Look at how amazing this looks. That is so beautiful. It is a thing of beauty. They got kind of like the Toronto Blue Jays kind of lettering there, but they have the emerald green kind of shining off that jersey, almost like a Seattle Seahawks kind of color scheme as well. And then their home jerseys, just emerald green, just popping, popping everywhere. I really like those jerseys and their logo. Of course, they play at the Emerald Diamond as their home ballpark, and let's jump right into their roster. This extreme power hitting ball club is all about mash and taters. So we have Nick Blevins. Where you at, Nick Blevins? Got Nick Blevins. We got Leon Jackman. We got Rodney Bradshaw. And these are your home run hitters of this ball club. They're not the speediest team, as we can see. They are rated as extreme power hitters. And they're really not the best contact hitters either. But they definitely make up for that in defense. And pretty decent pitching staff that is bookended by B-plus starter. We got Banjo Farmer here, and then their A-rated closer, Brendan West. Overall, the Emeralds, pretty solid-looking ball club for this tournament. They should do some damage again with those big power hitters. So let's see what happens for them. And again, as your brief breakdown of the Edom Emeralds. All right, the Feta Fiddlers. I like this team a lot. I'm a huge fan of this team. Their logo's got a little bit of an upgrade, as you can see, and I like this logo a lot better because it actually looks like a real fiddler crab, kind of, maybe. Their jerseys are pretty sweet. That's an awesome away jersey. Feta, really big up on the jersey. I really like the black and red color scheme. Their away jerseys, kind of a classic look with that two-tone cap and everything. I just really like the way this team looks. It's a very classic baseball look to me. I think their stadium is changed. They play at Parque Jardineros, and fun fact, Parque Jardineros, I believe, is supposed to be in Panama, and fiddler crabs are native to Panama and some of the Caribbean and stuff, so that's why they play there. And that is your fun fact of the day. But let's look at the roster, because this is, like I said, this is a really, really fun team. There's another Speed Demon team. They have Kirk Yu. They have Gertie Carter. We go back, Gertie Carter. They have Harlow Cray Cray. And those are the base stealers on this team. But then you have power hitting Layla Hogan and Rose Bobbert, another power hitter. Yeah, they're just going to mash. Layla Hogan especially. I think her power is like 95 plus. So that's just awesome. And yeah, those are the obvious standouts for me. So Benny Bernard is their A-rated starter. The rest of the rotation is just all right, I would say. But then you have Caden Crane in the bullpen. He's going to get it done for them. The rest of the bullpen is a little light, I would say. But overall, I think the Fiddlers are a really good team to look out for. Again, especially with some of those mashers up front. Just a good team. Just a fun team overall. Really, really like the Feta Fiddlers. And that's your breakdown for this team. fun fact, Gotham is Old English for Goat Town. Gotham? Goat Town? Gotham Demon Goats? This is the Gorgonzola Gothams, folks. And the Demon Goats are just going to hit the ball. But let's first look at their new logo and everything. So, again, the Demon Goats, they have a brand new away jersey set. They are more modeled after the San Francisco Giants, New York Giants, kind of too. There's a Gorgonzola. The hats look pretty sweet. This is kind of another, for me, a classic jersey set with the pinstripes, Old English G. I really, really like that. They play at Founders Field because, again, the New York Giants, old school baseball team, I felt like, let's give them the Founders Field treatment. And I really like the way that those jerseys look. So, again, they're just going to hit the ball. We have A-rated Camden Anthony. Where the heck are you? Camden Anthony right there. We have Arlo Franks, everybody's favorite Arlo Franks. You have Henry Alvarado underneath him. Those are the standouts in this lineup of mashers and contact hitters. As you can see, they are rated as contact specialists. A-rated Emil Garner and Finn Wiggins are going to be doing it in the rotation for this team. And the bullpen is a little lacking, though, I would say. So we're going to see how this contact specialist team kind of fares overall. Maybe they'll just get on base, maybe hit some dingers, and just kind of rely on that to outslug their teams. Yeah, we'll see how they rate overall. I'm guessing they're going to be pretty darn good, just because of the lineup that they have. But that is your breakdown quickly of the Gorgonzola Gothams. Onward now to the Gouda Giants. Let's take a real quick look at their logo. Nothing's really changed here, just a solid logo. Of course, Gorgonzola Giants. The Gigantopithecus or Gigantopitheci, they are modeled a little bit more after the New York Mets. And there you see Gary, the Gigantopithecus, on their home jersey. I really like the way the home jerseys look. The blue and red color scheme, or blue and orange color scheme, I'm sorry, it works so well. And this team looks so great. Their home park now, again, modeled after the New York Mets, so of course their home park is going to be Apple Field. Let's take a look at their roster. Now, this team lost the Cheese Cup Championship, so they're definitely out for revenge. And you see A-rated Lenny Castaneda, we got Goldie Cooper, Nix Allen. These are all your big studs. They definitely want the cup, and these power hitters are sure to launch a couple of dingers on that quest. As you can see, they are rated as a power hitting ball club. This rotation does feature S-rated Hal Rivers, who did, honestly, just okay in the first tournament. So let's see if maybe he can turn things around this time. And their bullpen is a little lacking, I would say. A couple C-rated players in there. But the offense and starting pitching honestly might make up for that. So we shall see how these Gouda Giants fare in this next round of the Cheese League Baseball Tournament. Oh boy, here we have the Grayer Gamblers. Let's take a look at their logo. First, look at the Gamblers logo. It looks pretty sweet. It looks like this belongs on a dollar bill. I like the Gamblers away jerseys. It's kind of just muted a little bit, not flashy like the Gamblers. You would think they're kind of flashy, but then boom, you go to their home jersey and look how flashy that is. They look like a bunch of gamblers, much like the Oakland A's that they're based on. This is the Gamblers Ball Club. They're going to play at Whacker's Wheel because, you're gambling. You're hitting the roulette wheel, so it just makes a lot of sense. Let's take a look briefly at their roster. Again, they're based on the Oakland A's, and the Gamblers definitely feel in this tournament like a small market team. It's interesting, too. I called them the Gamblers, and I based them on the Oakland A's before anyone found out, really, that the Oakland A's were proposed to move to Las Vegas. So that is very strange. That is very weird. This team features Izzy Shepard, also Crush Thompson here. They are kind of your mashers in this lineup. They will surely get stuff done at the plate. Rest of the lineup is honestly a little lacking. You see, they're more of a balanced ball club, not big on power, not big on speed, anything like that. Maybe a little bit better on defense, I suppose. The Gamblers' rotation is lacking as well. Their bullpen, though, is pretty strong. We've got Nico Zimmerman in the bullpen. He's the stud of their pitching staff, really, overall. Gamblers, again, they're rated as balanced. You can kind of see why. There's not a lot of standouts in this lineup, with the exception of the folks I've already mentioned. They're not really going to crush the ball. They might be, again, more of like a small ball, small market kind of team, actually. So let's see how they play out. But that is your quick breakdown of the Grayer Gamblers. The Kasiri Kraken are back at it. This is one of my favorite teams to build their logo and to kind of build their jerseys. It's just a beautiful logo. It's a beautiful jersey set. The colors are amazing because they are Seattle Mariners colors. Yeah, just look at that. That's a cool ass logo. This is a cool ass away jersey. It just, I mean, I could totally see Ken Griffey Jr. mid-90s hitting dingers off of Hideki Arabu at Old Yankee Stadium. Not like I ever had that memory or anything. And then here's the Kasiri Kraken's home set. Look at that. That is just a beautiful, beautiful home jersey. All right, they're going to play this time. Well, now their new home ballpark is Battery Bay, because there's like a sea monster or something going on in the background here. It's in a bay. Makes sense for the Seattle Kraken, or the Seattle Kraken. Makes sense for the Kasiri Kraken to be there. You can tell I already have hockey in the mind, folks. Let's take a look quickly at their roster. And the Seattle Kraken, the Kasiri Kraken, I'm going to keep doing that. The Kasiri Kraken definitely look much different in SMB4. They're boosted by A-rated starters. We have Yo-Yo Suzuki, we have Johnny Duke, we have Freddie Ferguson, and this team is a bunch of contact specialists. So they're going to try to win you over, again, with small ball and speed. Not a big power hitting ball club, just contact specialists and a couple of speedy guys out there. Again, their rotation is still looking a little rough, I will say that. But the bullpen has definitely been boosted by V. Takawaka and Hammer Delgado, Denny Hayes. So those are going to be your bright spots of this whole entire Kraken pitching staff. They're not going to outpitch you. They're definitely not going to outpitch anyone in this tournament. But if they can play smart, if they can get on base, they're definitely going to be a pesky team to deal with for sure. And that, folks, is the Kasiri Kraken. All right, folks, now we're taking a look at the Manchego Mechanics. Let's look at their logo, and let's look at their uniform set. Of course, there's the wrench, the wheel, the mechanics. That makes sense. This is their away jersey. Definitely has a little bit of a Cincinnati Reds kind of feel. So if you're a Cincinnati Reds fan, I would say this could be your team to root for in the Cheese League Baseball tournament. I really, really like that red top. That's a pretty sharp looking jersey home set, if I do say so myself. Of course, they are going to play again at the Motor Yard. And let's take a look at the roster, because the Mechanics are a sneaky good team. They're rated as extreme contact specialists, and this team features 4 A-rated studs in Zariah Heaps. We have Keaton Carlson, we have Austin Carson, and then there's also Rocco Corker. I mean, these are just A-rated studs here. Just a really, really, really good lineup, guys. Very strong lineup. And the Mechanics also, they may have the best rotation and bullpen in all of Cheese League Baseball. I mean, they have Aileen Guerrero right there, Crispy Dropkin, who kind of looks like James Franco's character in that movie where he played like a rapper or something like that. Remember that? That was like back in like when James Franco was big. Just like a white guy with dreadlocks. It's just funny. That's Crispy Dropkin. They're your starters. You know, you got Prowlett Perez, and you also have Alexandra Decker in the bullpen. So again, this team could win the whole damn thing because they are just that good. Their bullpen, their rotation is amazing. They have such a deep and very good lineup. The Mechanics, like I said, they could take the whole thing, folks. So don't sleep in the Mechanics. And there it is. The Mozzarella Man-Eaters, folks. This team is pretty awesome. I like their jersey. I like their logo. I like everything about this team. They remind me of a KBO team. And kind of how I have them modeled, maybe a little bit KBO mix in there with like, I don't know, like a college team, something like that. That's their away jersey. I dig it. This is their home jersey. I dig it as well. It's a pretty sweet set. I like the tiger or the leopard patch rather, right there. I think that looks pretty cool. It's a cool jersey set. Of course, they play again at the Tiger Den, which I believe is a KBO style dome thing, field kind of thing. So it kind of makes sense that that their jerseys are modeled after like KBO teams or maybe a MPB team or something like that. Either way, they're pretty cool. I like the Mozzarella Man-Eaters. And this is another Speed Demon team. Buddy Greenman, where are you at, Buddy Greenman? Boom. Aria Bell, where you at, Aria Bell? Boom. Those are the standouts in this lineup. There's some pretty solid players other than those two, though. Obviously, Andrew Kerr. And then, obviously, Spud Pepperoni's behind the plate. This rotation, I will be honest, is lacking a little bit. I mean, you have Grover Griffin as your B-plus rated ace. Wally Shepard is rounding out that rotation. You'll have Bruce Terrell, though, as your middleman kind of filling in. The bullpen is pretty great, though. Nicholas Grant, Kelly Duke in the bullpen. Just throwing junk. They're both junk ballers. So that's pretty good. The Man-Eaters might be maybe like one more tournament away. We'll see how the shuffle draft kind of impacts this team. Maybe one tournament away from really winning it all. But we shall see. Nonetheless, they're probably going to win with speed on the base pass and hopefully getting into their bullpen. And that's where they'll be triumphant. And that is a look at your Mozzarella Man-Eaters. The Pepper Jack Pipers, PJ, Pearl Jam Pipers, whatever you want to call them. This is this team. Let's take a look at their logo and their jerseys. The Pipers have had a little bit of a refresh on their, not so much on their logo, but definitely on their jerseys. A little more gold and black. And I dig that because, I think it just makes them stand out a little bit more. I like the gold and black combo. I can almost see this being like that flecking, almost like the Vegas Golden Knights have in their jerseys in hockey. As you can see, this is the Pepper Jack Pipers home set. I do like Pipers with the pipe across the front. I think that looks pretty cool. That's a pretty cool team. Pepper Jack Pipers going to be playing at Colonial Plaza now. Now, Pepper Jacks, think of like maybe Mexican food or Tex-Mex or something like that. Colonial Plaza kind of makes sense. So we're going to take a look at their roster. There's a reason for all of these decisions that I make, and I put a lot of time and effort into them for some reason. The Pipers are defensive experts and contact specialists. So that is something to note right up front. Bruce McDonald, there he is. Look at Bruce McDonald with his mohawk and his handlebar mustache. What an intimidating looking dude. And then Fatima Lane as well. They are your notables in the starting lineup, but you also have fan favorites Arabella Mars. You have Ike Constance. Boom, there he is. Their bench, I will say one thing, their bench is lacking. So that's kind of a concern for me. But the rotation, and so is their rotation and their bullpen. Those are both lacking as well. Adam Maddox is going to be your ace right up front. Julio Lancheros is going to be your long man, middleman kind of guy. And, they might be a team that might be another tournament or two away for making a real impact. So we'll see how they fare. The shuffle draft might do them well as well. And, playing at Colonial Plaza, that field has the big wall from the alleys out in center field. The field should play a lot bigger than it does. It does play like a small ballpark. We'll see how that fares for the Pepper Jack Pipers. But that is your team breakdown. Oh boy, here we are with the Provolone Prospectors. Let's take a look at their logo and their jersey because they're pretty awesome. I love this logo. I love this jersey set. Their away jersey, the yellow and the pinstripes on the top. It's just so nice looking. It reminds me of the Pittsburgh Pirates, right? And you got the black tops this time around, changing it up a little bit. the pitchfork. I just think it's a nice looking team. I would love to have a Provolone Prospectors hat as well. Their home field has changed. You know, Manifest Destiny going out and prospecting for gold. They're going to play out in the West at Red Rock Park. And let's take a look at their roster because I really, really like this team. This team is kind of a powerhouse team. They are rated as extreme power hitters, and they're led by the likes of Rasp Frigate. You have Nelson Marin, and also you have Emmy Corker. Those are some of your big mashers. But you know, don't count out Shimi Quintana. Don't count out Jewel Mendez. These are two players that can slam them as well. Their bullpen is okay. I'm sorry, their starting rotation is okay. We have Jerry Bellamy right up front. That's the ace. The bullpen, though, does look pretty good. I will say that. You have brothers Greg and Julian McDonald in the bullpen, so that's pretty cool. You have Cohen Idle there, too. He's another A-rated arm of your bullpen, so they're going to be the folks you're going to rely on probably to get most people out. Now, this is a fun team. I really like this team. Just the power hitting aspect of this ball club could be really fun to watch, and they will definitely be a force to be reckoned with in our next Cheese League baseball tournament. The Ricotta Regals. Here they are, the Regal Beagles, and let's take a look at their logo and their jersey set. Not a lot has changed, but this is kind of like the Kansas City Royals of our Cheese League baseball tournament. One thing that did change, added the baby blues. I like the baby blue highlights on this team. That makes this away jersey just a lot. It just pops. It just pops so much more. Their home jersey is pretty classic. Again, kind of a Kansas City Royals feel. Look at that. That's a pretty sweet looking home jersey. And they play at the new ballpark, Stade Royale. It's almost like the folks at Metalhead made this game for me, and they knew that I had a team called the Regals. So, play Stade Royale. I actually haven't seen a lot of haven't played a lot at this field, so I'm kind of curious to see how this short porch here especially plays. Let's take a look at their lineup and their roster. To me, the Regal Beagles, they're kind of a tough team to judge. They're definitely light, as you can see, on power. They're bigger on contact and definitely big on speed. You know, you have Ava Oliver. She's our only S-rated position player in Cheese League Baseball. So that's interesting. You also have Kerry Coleman. Those are kind of the big names. Dick O'Neill. Where are you at? Dickie O'Neill. There he is. Those are kind of the big guys and gals in the starting lineup here. Outside of that, you know, their lineup is kind of light. Their bench is kind of light as well. Their rotation looks pretty good, though. I'm going to say that because they have Paige Vincent as your starter. A-rated Paige Vincent as your starter. You know, Estella Rowe as well as another A-rated starter for this team. So they're going to try to get it done up top. And then bullpen is kind of light too. Kind of a mid bullpen. Not the greatest, especially your closer here. Maybe your closer role, Sandy LaRoche. I don't know. Possibly. Just kind of a little light here. I don't think they're really worried about that. They're just going to hit the ball. I think they're just going to try to score in any way that they can. Again, another speed demon team here. So we'll see what they can do. And that's your breakdown for the Ricotta Regals. You know what, folks? I am hot on the Stilton Saucers. Let's take a look at their uniform and take a look at their logo. Again, nothing really has changed from the previous tournament, but just rebuilt some of these teams. I kind of give them a refresh. The hat is awesome with the saucer, the flying saucer in it. The orange tops here for the away jerseys, and then the navy blue tops here for the home jerseys. They look great. Again, the blue and orange color combination just works so well, especially when you got the darker blue. They're modeled after the Houston Astros, so they're going to play at the Corral, which apparently is a ballpark in Super Mega Baseball 4 that is located in Texas, I guess. That's what I've heard. So that's where they're going to play, and that kind of makes sense for being modeled after the Astros. Let's take a look at their lineup. Like I said, I'm kind of hot in this team, folks. They're another extreme contact specialist team. And they have a killer lineup, honestly. You got, where is he? You got Nash Schaefer, got Les Bautista, Cannon Wilhelm up here, crushing the ball. Definitely don't count out fan favorites. We got Bria Bracketeer, got Demetria Spencer right under her. So that's a pretty darn good lineup. Maybe a little light in the bench, but Colt Lowry, Sid Lucas, you got some guys out there that can also do it off the bench. So yeah, I'm definitely hot in this team. Their rotation is freaking amazing, though. Looks really good with Jalen McMaster, Theo Sellers, your A-rated starters right up front. Bullpen, it's all right. Bullpen's all right. Farley, Greg Farley, I like the way he looks. Look at that bald head and that beard. That guy's intimidating. Josiah Whitney, Joey Kramer out there too. The A-rated closer and Regan Brady. So that's a pretty decent bullpen. Better rotation for sure. So it's a very, very good team, folks. I would not be surprised if they won the whole tournament. They're just looking really good. And that is your breakdown of the Stilton Saucers. All right, folks, your final team here is another rebranded franchise. Completely rebranded, actually. This is the Swiss Cheese, not the Spiders anymore, but the Swiss Cheese Steamers. And I saw this locomotive, this train icon, and I was like, how can I make it look like the train is rounding a corner? I think that looks pretty cool, just adding a couple of shapes. I like it, and I like this team's jersey. I like this team's look and feel. It's a pretty solid team for me. There's the away uniforms for the Swiss Cheese Steamers, and then of course the home unis. They kind of have, to me, like a Tampa Bay Rays kind of feel. I don't know why, but I get like Tampa Bay Rays vibes from this team. But they're playing as far away from Tampa Bay as you could, because they're going to be playing in the Heartland at the Golden Field. Trains travel across the country back in the day, Manifest Destiny, all that kind of stuff. And locomotives. They transport a lot of grain and things. So it just kind of made sense for me to make their home field as the Golden Field. So the rebranded Swiss Cheese Steamers probably, undoubtedly, have the best hitting catcher in all of the league with William Olio. Right up front, A-rated player. But they also have Sawyer Klein. They also have Guy Sizemore, or Guy Sizemore, however the announcer decides to call that. They have Killer Holmes on this team as well. It's a pretty good lineup with a lot of pop and some contact hitters. Again, extreme contact specialists lineup. Their defense is also very, very good. Their rotation and their bullpen leaves a lot to be desired, I'll say. But Rod Armstrong is your ace of this staff, and he should be okay. And then you have A-rated Hope Dubs in the bullpen. She could potentially see a lot of time on the bump, especially with kind of a light rest of the bullpen here. Dallas Joyner, Oak Walkman, Sal Floggins, kind of a below average bullpen behind Hope Dubs there. So we shall see. It's a pretty good team overall. I think they might struggle maybe in their early rounds, maybe the first couple games, until they can get things to click, and then maybe we'll see them kind of pop off. But that is your Swiss Cheese Steamers.